It's time for
DodgerHeads.
high fly ball into right field. Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Shohei Ohtani, 50-50 club. Strikes him out. There's a drive. Shohei Ohtani. Freeland hits the ball. She is gone. Birthday party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How we doing, everybody? Welcome in. It is great to see you, chat. Thank you for joining me. It's great to be back. Dodger Blue, want to give a big shout out to everybody. Matt Moreno, Blake Williams, of the head guys, everybody there, all the DB staff. It's been a bit. Hope you had a great summer. It's been busy on my end too. Chat, I appreciate all the support you've given me the whole time, these past few years. And just chomping at the bit to get back into it. And DB Brass gave me an opportunity to rejoin the group. And I'm super excited to be back here. Let's get something daily. We already make your, baseball experience great on a nightly, chat as much as we can, nightly basis. Let's make this on a daily basis. Let's have some fun Monday through Friday here. Unplugged for a reason. So we can have a little bit more open talk. Open rage. Chat, you get crazy as you want. I don't care. This is my thing. We're going to have some fun. Anthony Witrado is going to be joining me in a couple minutes here. Super excited to have him on. Look, I'm as excited as you guys are. Chat, I appreciate you getting crazy early. You've been saying a bunch, the praise, tweeting at me, DMing me a bunch. Thank you. We're going to have some guests. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have a daily rundown all the time. It's going to be rotating. We're going to, trial and error some things here. We are going to, I'm going to take as much influence from the chat and what you guys are looking forward to and want to talk about as much as you absolutely want. So you want to toss some topics on there. I'm going to go that way. Let me know. So let's have some fun. I want to bring in Anthony Witrado right here. And we're going to have some fun here. I'm going to bring him on. Whoops. There he is. Ant, what's up, buddy?
Scotty G, welcome back, baby.
My man. Chat, big shout out to Ant. Tell him thanks for joining. We're going to have some fun. Anthony, thanks for joining the first show, buddy.
Yeah, for sure, man. Happy and very privileged to be able to join you today. When we knew this was going down, I was very excited. And then last night for the chat and for the people following, I said, hey, man, if you need a guy on your opening show, I'm available. I got a little break in my schedule in the morning. Tag me in if you want. He said, let's do it. And
let's do it.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
A couple housekeeping things, everybody. Let's get back to it. We're at about 90,500 subscribers on YouTube. I am in a big effort myself to get that to the 100,000 mark. So do myself, and everybody at DB a favor. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, share this around. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your grandparents. I get a lot of people let me know that they make us a part of our daily listening. And I'm happy to say that it's about we are making a part of our daily listening. So I'm excited to have this opportunity here. So chat, please do us a favor there. Jeff, everybody tuning in, admins, all this stuff here. Solo shows will be, we'll see. I love having some guests on. That's the thing I like to do. I like to have some crosstalk. We're going to have a lot of that. But we've got, kind of a loose schedule with how we're going to do some things. We're going to recap some series and look ahead at some things. And I'm going to have some Scotty's takeaways. And Unplugged, you guys, if you tuned into the Scott and Blake show the past, prior to me taking a little bit of a much needed hiatus to coach some softball and do some things, we have some Unplugged talks. We had some pressing things that we always, Blake and I talked about. We're going to do that here. So, Ant, your biggest key takeaway from the San Diego Padres series, the Dodgers salvaging that and avoiding a sweep. Give me that one or two, or however many you've got, the biggest takeaways from that series.
This offense scares the hell out of me right now, and not in a good way. They make me wonder if they're going to be consistent enough down the stretch and when it counts most in October to put this team where it needs to be. I have confidence in the starting rotation. I even think the bullpen will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive highs and lows for me are way too often. And if they hit a little dip for a few games come October, season could be over. That's the biggest takeaway for me with this is they face pitchers that they should have been able to handle, and they got dominated.
Yeah, man, it felt that. I agree. I fully agree with you. Starting out with the series opener there, Blake Snell taking the mound. Watching that, it was against Yu Darvish. There's just something with the Dodgers against Yu Darvish, and they struggle against a pitcher with a deep repertoire there. I know they got to him when he was in LA, but after the early stuff, he kind of got into a little bit of a rhythm, and the Dodgers do that a lot. And we were texting yesterday in the group chat that after the first inning, when Nick Pivetta was on the ropes, it was a huge missed opportunity. Bases loaded, and Teoscar Hernandez comes a few feet away from that baby wall out in center field from having a grand slam, and it's a completely different narrative, a completely different feeling to that series, right? And I know they got one run there, and they were able to break through later on in the game. But this Dodgers team they've got that, I'm not going to say stink, but they got that stink sometimes, and when that moment needs to happen, when you feel like the dam is about to break, it doesn't. And it just leaks a little bit. And then you're like, is that one run? Is that two runs going to be enough? Because we don't know what we've got with the pitching lately. So that was my biggest thing. That's my biggest takeaway there. They didn't have many opportunities with runners in scoring position. When it's happened lately, they have gotten it done, but those opportunities just haven't happened. A lot of strikeouts here, relying on the home run ball, starting pitching. I think we're going to get enough. And I think that's been kind of the biggest feel lately. We're going to get enough there. It's just what version of this Dodgers offense is going to show up.
Yeah, totally. I think, too, we might have had a different vibe on this had they taken like 3 out of 4 from Colorado. But they had this in Colorado, too, right? Like we saw this coming in. And there are times when teams will get out of Colorado and the offense will struggle because they're getting back to what is normal. But in Colorado, like they had games, too, where it was like, guys, I mean, come on, cash in on these opportunities against a guy who has a 7 ERA. Why don't you? Like, you know what I mean? And against the Padres, it was kind of more of that in the first couple of games, and even for at least half of the third game. And when they only got the one run out of Teo's long sac fly, I was like, is that it? Like for the day? Because if they let this guy settle in when they had him in the corner and he was on his last legs, it could get ugly. And he rolled for another 4 innings or so before they actually finally did kind of get to the rest of the staff.
Yeah, Yamamoto goes 6 yesterday, 2 earned runs, 6 punch. That big meatball to Elias Diaz there was a mistake. But to what you said about Nick Pivetta, he ended up settling in and he went 6. He went 6, allows 2, gives up just 1 home run, right? And, 7 punch. And he's disgusting. It's someone Nick Pivetta is someone Blake and I really wanted to target in the offseason if the Dodgers were going to dip back into that starting pitching market because he is a talent. He's good stuff there, but you just can't allow him to get off the hook there. You need to have that one swing. You can't give up these opportunities where they're gifted to you. That bases loaded, nobody out is gifted to you. You just absolutely can't let that go with just one run because with where the Dodgers offense is at, you can't settle for just one. It's a gut punch when you only get one. And I know it's like, some old heads are going to tell you that, one's one, that's run. You scratch it across. It's not good enough. It's definitely not good enough without the Padres play. They play aggressive. The Dodgers are certainly playing on those pins and needles, it feels like, where it's like, just get one, and then see if it's enough.
It's not enough when the bases are loaded and nobody's out.
Yeah. It's definitely not enough there. I said the other night on Saturday, I was at work and I was like, this team's certainly playing like they don't give a damn. They're just hanging out. And it felt like once Pivetta got started to cruise, it felt like they were just hanging out a little bit. They were hanging out a little bit. And then Dalton Rushing has that swing. And that's where we're clicking into right now. And this is something that I'm excited we get to talk about, because on a Dodgers team where frankly, you don't get the opportunity to have extended runways with rookies enough. And I'm very happy. And I know you have some thoughts on Dalton Rushing. I really want you to get into that. But with Dalton Rushing specifically, he's had so many opportunities where the game has just found him. And that's something that with the rookie, you get thrown into that fire there. And in his time spelling Will Smith, much needed break, because Will Smith's kind of slowed down a bit. I'm happy Dalton Rushing was able to finally get that big swing.
Yeah, look, he might be the most promising, best backup catcher in the league. And that's a luxury for the Dodgers. For him personally, it's a tough role. You go from playing basically every day. This is probably the first time he's had to sit ever in his entire career at any level. And so for him to come in and get these irregular starts and, trying to produce and adjust to big league pitching at the same time, right? Like, he's not in the box every single day to see it. And so he's trying to adjust on the fly there. That's a tough assignment. And I don't fault him for the struggles that he's had. Looks like maybe he's getting a little more comfortable now, and that's a good sign. Yep. My thing with him is, it's not with him, it's with the organization on how do you go about not wasting this guy who was a number one prospect in baseball the rest of the way. Yeah. Because Will Smith is not a short timer. He's going to be here long term. And I know the idea that's been floated in, and it's one that I've had too, is like, okay, maybe Will Smith takes over at first base once Freddie's done, and then that clears the spot for Rushing. And that's cool. But that's a couple of years away. And are you going to let this guy who's already mid-20s kind of sit on the bench and get a couple of starts a week until then? Because it feels like that's not the best use of his value. And then if you're going to do that with him, maybe it's best to explore what all of your options are.
Yeah, I'm going to put this up here real quick. TQT says Rushing is too good to strike out 40% of the time. So happy you got a big hit. TQT, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for supporting this. Appreciate you always tuning in. I fully agree with this. Dalton Rushing's chase rate is in a beautiful spot for a rookie. He's not expanding. Same stuff with Alex Freeland that I like too. They look comfortable in the box, but it's when he gets the pitch, he's been whiffing a lot. He's not chasing, but he's been definitely whiffing a lot, and I'm really excited. And the thing that I love the most, so I was talking to a buddy in another chat, Blakeson as well, and we were talking about his approach, getting his front leg down. He kind of abbreviated his stuff when he came to the major leagues. If you go back and look, he incorporated now a little bit of a toe tap, but yesterday it looked like he peeled that back a little bit, got his front foot down, good spot, big pump off Jeremiah Estrada, who absolutely weeps against the Dodgers. So I don't know what Mike Schultz doing, putting him in against the Dodgers. I know it was like a razor thin margin there, but goes out there and he hangs one, you bang one. Quick shout out to the 700 plus in here, supporting the stream, supporting the channel. Thank you. Facebook, Twitter, and we're over on YouTube. Thank you. Appreciate you a bunch. Super chats, I've got you. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get to those. Give me real quick. I want to talk about Alex Freeland, because this, I know you and Jeff and you and yourself, you talked last night about kind of his role going forward. I really like what I see again with him, but I know from just looking at his splits there, and that they're not putting him in a flat out platoon role, but they certainly like him a hell of a lot more against right-handed pitching.
Yeah, they do. It's not a strict platoon. But yeah, they definitely want him hitting from one side of the plate or the other. It may be a situation as he goes, if, maybe he gives up the switch hitting a little bit. We'll see. Still a long way to go before that happens. But I think for him, if he can keep showing some competence offensively, and he doesn't have to be great. He just has to be able to give competitive at-bats, and his typical approach lends himself to being that guy. More of a Max Muncy approach versus a Teoscar approach, right? And so I think if he can continue that, and Edman can play the outfield with his ankle, I think Freeland has a real role in October. I think he's a guy they can go with.
Look, man, he's got 13 games played at third, 12 at second base. They're moving him around. And I like the fact that we're talking about a shortstop here. We're talking about a middle infielder. Like, this is a guy. Like, this is someone who can they can carve out a role for him. And the fact that his switch hitting, I don't care that it looks like a platoon. I saw TQT saying he's too young for a platoon. I agree, for sure. I don't like doing that. I don't like immediately. I know if there's some metrics or like some internal stuff say he's predominantly better against this side, I'm good. Let's just see what he's got. Don't overmatch him before you even give him a shot, right? So right now it's at 63 plate appearances versus right, 11 versus left. It's too small of a sample against lefties to say anything. But when we're talking about versus right-handed pitching, 131 WRC plus there, he's a guy. And he made a barehanded play late in the game yesterday, which I absolutely loved. Kirby Yates on the mound, little dribbler there, Freeland going there on the run, makes the play barehanded, guns it out. And that's one of those plays where people probably turned the game off because they said it was over. But I'm sitting there and I saw that and I said, well, damn, man, that's a play. Like, that's a play from a rookie. Stay calm there. You don't take that off just because you're up 8-2 in the game at that point, something like that. I love that. Going out there, rookie, doing everything he can to, make himself a guy. And I thought that was very impressive. So big nod to the rookies. So any final thoughts on Freeland rushing here?
I think with Freeland, if he comes into next season and they think he's their opening day second baseman, let's say, I think then they maybe give him the chance to prove that he can hit both sides. I think right now, because they're in the thick of it, they're trying to play the matchup.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm very happy that he was given the call and given the opportunity. And
I'd like to see him fail first, right? I kind of think that's what you're still like. Let the guy fail and prove that he can't do it before you assume he's not going to do it.
I totally agree. Yeah, like I understand the runway thing, and it's the same stuff we talked about with young hitters in the past. Gavin Lux got a big runway there. James Outman got various runways. Michael Conforto's got 400 plate appearances runway. I couldn't help myself. Sorry. It's not on the rundown chat. I had to do it. Everybody knows. Blake's in here. Shout out to Blake Williams. He's hanging outside the stage, making sure everything's there. Chad Moriyama, appreciate you, buddy. Love that dig last night. That was comedy. It's the best. Blake's losing sleep over it. I'm gonna put some super chats up here.
Oh, good.
Jedi Engineer, great to see you again, Scott. Shame we missed a few home runs because of the park dimensions this weekend. Yeah, baby wall is insane. But that's one of the best parts of baseball for sure. The novelties and those subtle nuances of each stadium there. I want to ask you real fast, Ant. Are you good with teams having in stadiums being their own dimensions, which making it completely different from every sport?
Yeah. I do. I think every ballpark should have its personality. Baseball's different, right? It's not basketball. It's not football. Let these ballparks have their dimensions and their own sort of aura and personality. I think that's what makes these places cool. People go to baseball games for that atmosphere and all of that stuff as much as they do to watch, right? And so I think as long as people enjoy that part of it, yeah, we don't need to make all these things uniform. And people are right. That is what makes this stuff cool, right? Like the Green Monster is cool. The Ivy and Wrigley is cool, right? The pavilions in Dodger Stadium are cool. Like stuff like that. Like I don't need everything to be, everything 400 to the dead center and 330 down the lines, and that's it. Like
it makes, come on, like baseball Twitter, it goes up so much when I hear about the baby home runs in Yankee Stadium. Like, you can't tell me that you don't chuckle every single time. Or what my buddy texts me when the Red Sox are playing the Yankees and he says, you'll never guess who just hit a unicorn home run. And I'm like, that's the best stuff. Seeing 1 of 30 and it just saying Yankee Stadium is probably one of my favorite things. So going on right now. Let's see this. Someone says, imagine if they sign Laureano instead of Conforto. I mean, look, hindsight's 2020. We always know that. Yeah. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. That's how it's going to go. Jay says, you're telling me I get this every morning. Sign me up. You damn right you get it every morning. Not on the September 5th, though, because guess who got jury duty? This guy. So I'll be there. So I got to find a way. The admin's just finding out about that. So, yes, chat. Yeah, we'll figure that out. And Jonathan Montgomery. Hey,
if
Scott.
you get a Michael Conforto trial, boy, He gone.
Yeah, out of here. Let's see. Hi, Scott, supporting Unplugged. Congrats. Thanks, man. Appreciate the super chat. Thanks for all the donations, everybody. As always, I mean, best way to get a hold of us is super chats. I'm gonna stop the show, stop whatever I'm doing. Make sure I take the time to acknowledge you, because you're supporting us, you're supporting myself. Appreciate you guys. Love you all. Yeah, I mean, looking ahead, I think, and this is kind of like my own thought, like when I sit back and I look at it, because I'm sure people thought like, where's Scott? He's tuning in. He's not watching, a bunch. I'm keeping tabs, right? And this team's got a kind of definitely a different feel. And I'm not going to go into too much of the conversation of the World Series hangover stuff. And like, I buy into injuries being a big factor there. But when I think of like series with the San Diego Padres, I'm just happy they left square. We talked about this pre-show. I'm happy they left, winning one. I would have loved 2 out of 3, sweep, whatever. But I'm happy they left with 1. So you leave square. Teams go separate ways. You figure it out. They'll go figure it out. We'll figure it out. Hope if we see you again, we see you again. But now each team has an opportunity. Padres get to go figure out, how to get social media pressured into putting out their best lineup. And the Dodgers get to go get healthy, because that's what they did. Same thing last year. Reinforcements are coming. You trim the fat, however you want to take that. But Kike's coming back. Hesson Kim's coming back. Max Muncy. I look, for anybody who wants to talk about Max Muncy, there is no questioning this guy tries his damnedest to get back onto the field with whatever is going on, because I for sure thought he was done for the year with his knee. I thought that was it. I was like, that's all. But Dodger fans, reinforcements are coming. You get to see some guys who have that moxie, who have that feel for the moment and understanding a playoff race coming back into the fold with some rookies who are hungry. Anything to add on that?
I think you're right. It's now, and the strength of schedules are similar, right? It's going to be like, all right, a couple of injuries here or there aside, everyone's evenly matched in terms of like, this is who they'll be riding with. Yep. Go get it. And they entered this week tied, and luckily the Dodgers hold that tiebreaker. But yeah, it's essentially like, all right, there's the finish line. Let's see who gets there first. And I'll say this. With the rotation and with what the Dodgers have coming in, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I like their chances a little better than I like San Diego's.
Yeah, absolutely.
It scares me still, though.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally get you, because they go into these lulls. We talked about this. You can't go into these lulls where it just happens. And I've been pretty vocal online about it, tweeting out some stuff about the offense and general frustrations, because we came into the year having these large expectations. But
is this the most frustrating season you remember in a while, given what the expectations were, what the roster looked like?
Probably, I would say so. Regular season. I mean, the losing in 17, was that it? 17 was it
the Astros?
That was the Granderson year when Granderson was with the team. 17, very end. When they just started, they were losing like crazy. Chad will confirm that. I think it was.
Didn't they lose? They lost like 15 out of 17 or something like that late.
I think that was it, because it felt at one point they had all the magic, and then it just completely disappeared. And we're like, man, they lose all their, the Monstars took their juice. Yeah, people say it was 2017. 1-16, Eden says. Yeah, 1-16, man. That was up there with it. 18, I know Blake just brought that up. 18 was really frustrating because it felt all year like they didn't deserve to be there. And Matt Kemp carrying that team, it just felt like 18 they didn't deserve to be there, and then they just kept winning. That wasn't frustrating, but that was the overall thing, was like, how the hell are they doing this? This year, it definitely is that, because what we know, so many different storylines, players going through different stuff that I've never seen before. And let me ask, chat's going to go crazy if I ask him this, but I have to. Do you guys, are we taking a Shohei Ohtani MVP season for granted just because the way the Dodgers are playing right now? Probably a lot. Like, a lot of people are just going to expect this. Like, he's just quietly doing exactly what he's doing. But it's the frustration, just like you said, is overshadowing a lot of stuff. Freddie Freeman's having another great year, battling odds again. Shohei Ohtani's doing his thing. The starting pitcher's coming, weird deal. Yeah, you're totally right. Look at that. What'd you just do to me? You just got it. Yeah, definitely the most frustrating for sure. Definitely the most frustrating for sure. But chat, we've got stuff to look ahead to. Real quick, I'm gonna put this up here. Questions, toss those in there. I'll put it back up in a couple minutes. No hard cap on time, but I've got a soft cap on time. I'm gonna get to as many as I can, and then we'll go from there. But I want to look ahead real quick to tonight. I want to look ahead to this series with the Cincinnati Reds there. They come in a game and a half out of a wild card slot. They're chasing the New York Mets at the moment, who are 5-5 in their last 10. Reds are 5-5 in their last 10. Dodgers match up tonight against the Reds, going up against Hunter Green, big time right-hander, big strike thrower, big fastball, big stuff. He has been exceptional since coming off the IL with the groin. And this is someone who goes right after you. I don't know if you've looked too much into him. I know you know exactly who he is and what he's about. Local boy. What are your thoughts about tonight going up against Hunter Green?
I think we probably don't see a whole lot of traffic on the base pass. I think he's a guy who has shown before that he can handle a good lineup, and he's handled the Dodgers lineup in the past at times. So if he can throw strikes and not walk guys, I think he's got a pretty good chance to survive this lineup and get a little deep into this game. The Dodgers can struggle with velo sometimes, even if it's in the zone. And so it's coming off of what we've seen this weekend and in Colorado, it's a little worrisome that Hunter Green might be one of the guys who sort of shuts them down. And then you have to really, you really go, okay, well, what are they going to get from the pitching?
Yeah, I agree. And with the Dodgers we talked about this last year a lot. It was that when they seemingly proved everything against other teams and they had a soft cushion in the standings, and they shook that air where that it was. What are they playing for, Ant? We wanted to see scenarios. We talked about this. We want to see them playing against scenarios. I want to see how they perform against big time pitchers wherever the team is at. If you're playing against a fourth place team and you're going against the ace, you better damn show up. You better show up ready to play. I want to see the A1 lineup out there. Please don't take this game off. I want to have them going out there, not like it's a game 7. I couldn't care less about that talk. I always laugh when people say it's like the World Series. Players are going to play. They understand who it is. They compete when it's another great pitcher on the mound. That's just how they do it, right? I want to see how this Dodgers lineup performs against someone in Hunter Green, who is one of the best pitchers in the league. And that's just flat out how it is. So I want to see the offense matching up against Hunter Green. I want to see if they can get on top of that fastball there. Don't get overpowered. Don't let him have those quick innings, and see if you can get him into some trouble. So that's the biggest thing. So appreciate you, Ant. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, for sure, man. I gotta hop here, but have fun with the chat. Have fun with the show.
Right on, man.
Everybody. Happy you're back on a regular basis, man.
Everybody clap it up for Ant. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon, man.
See you later.
All right, later, buddy. All right. Let me get this back to the solo thing. There we go. Chat, I appreciate you. Again, tonight I'm looking forward to Emmett Sheehan. He's had a real tough go. I see a couple super chats here. I tagged a couple questions. If you have any more, just toss them in. I'll get to them in a second. Emmett Sheehan has performed much better than the numbers have said. And that's not a cope. It's not a hope. It's just flat out how it is. His stuff looks good. His pitch metrics look good. He's still battling back here. So I'm looking to see him not let those big innings get away, keep those big innings in check. Don't let the game get away from you. Let your stuff eat. He's had some tough assignments here. Looking at his last 4 starts, not tough assignments as far as lineups, but we're talking about tough ballparks to pitch in. We're talking about that on July 30th, he pitched in Cincinnati, then went to St. Louis. We're at, Dodger Stadium there. Strikeout stuff ticked up. Then we're going to Anaheim, and then he had to go pitch in Colorado, which stinks. Nobody wants to do that. So I'm really excited to see how he matches up tonight against the Reds lineup. If you blink, they'll do some stuff there. But overall, if your stuff and your game plan's in check, I think you can go out there and take care of business. So with Emmett Sheehan, I want to see him kick the last few starts. I want to see him just get back on schedule and let the stuff eat. Play in the zone. Don't get too crazy. Don't go out of pocket. You know, I'm not going to say we're any time is in must-win territory, but it's time for them to really strap in. You leave San Diego squared away, go your separate ways, and see how the Dodgers can perform. It starts with Emmett Sheehan tonight. Offense has to keep rolling there. Freddie Freeman's got to keep rolling. Shohei Ohtani, so on and so on. We're gonna hit these super chats here. Carlos says, first time meeting you, Scott. Hoping this is not a Roki situation. So much hype, but fell short. I trust the DB crew. Looking forward to this. Carlos, man, pull up a chair. Stay a while. Get your morning coffee. Pumpkin spice is coming soon. Just hang out, man. We're just here to talk ball. I've got an incredible chat that always brings it every single time. So make sure you do that. That's a part of the experience too. It's not just me. It's we. So we're going to be out here having fun, talking ball, getting into, scenarios. If you've got a narrative, let me know. You got to prove it though. You got to prove it. If you tell me you've got one, let me know. All right. Jonathan, Curtis Groundouterson. Yeah, Curtis Granderson almost did something against the Dodgers. Remember that? I think it was the following year. Pretty sure. Yeah. 2018 when he was with the Brewers, I think almost happened there, but yeah, Curtis Granderson era was something else. Chat, we got a couple questions here. TQT says Glass now seems to get unplugged quick. Where does he rank in your pecking order come playoff time? It's a good question because I really won't lie to you. Tyler Glass now, I was talking with Ant, pre-show that with how Blake Snell approaches his game, as far as big strikeout stuff, ability to play outside of the strike zone matters. And Blake Snell is able to stay within himself to do that. But when it comes to Tyler Glass now, it feels like in these big moments, they get away. Those big innings, they get away. And he needs to work on not allowing his stuff to get away. Don't let the emotions of the moment get too high. Don't let the game get away from you. And let your stuff play, man. Let your stuff play. You're a big fastball guy. You go downhill, big breaking ball. Stuff's gonna get hit. But as far as like the pecking order, let's see here. I mean, number 1, Blake Snell. 2, Yamamoto. Are we safe to say 3, Shohei Ohtani, and then Tyler Glass now, and then Clayton Kershaw? Are we okay to say that on the 5? As far as like a playoff rotation, I'm not ready to put out like a final one yet. But I think that's kind of where I'm at. But I might put Tyler Glass now 3 ahead of Shohei until I get to see him with some more length, because that's where I'm at for sure. I think I need to see more length out of Shohei Ohtani, and don't let that sweeper get banged. And then we'll be able to put him firmly in that 3 spot. So I'm going to keep it there. Blake says Ohtani might start game 2 if he gets a day off after. Sure. Yeah, I'm just talking about, Blake, I'm purely talking about like pecking order for sure. I'm not going into like playoff, those things there. Just flat out how I'm ranking them come playoff time. I'm not saying starts wise. We'll match that up how they do it. But Tyler Glass now has to earn some stuff for sure, because he can let some stuff get away from him there, and it can get pretty ugly quick. Laura says Dodgers dropped to 7th place in MLB's power rankings, below the Padres. Your thoughts? Probably it's due to the variability of the play they're having. It's pretty up and down, Laura. I know you see that too. They definitely have lulls where it's like, where the hell did they go? Absolutely, where did they go? Getting no hit or perfect game by Nestor Cortez through 5, almost 6, or however long. Doesn't matter. That shouldn't happen under any circumstance. You've got to go up there, assert dominance. You've got to go up there and have a different club in the bag every now and then. Yeah, Dusty Willis says it right here. Dodgers have been lethargic for the last 2 months. They certainly have. They've been playing hurt. They've been playing run down. Some things going on that we just, Dodgers fans aren't really privy to. They've been working through some stuff there. They definitely have some things to get in order for sure. And I'm thankful, and that's why I highlighted this. I'm thankful that they left square with the San Diego Padres, right at the top of the National League West. All right. and that's kind of where I live. That's kind of where I'm at. Let's see. I'm going to take a couple more here. Eden says, with Kim, Edman, and Kike coming back, do you think Conforto's starting role is over? And who is in left field come October? Well, since you asked and you brought up Michael Conforto, I do. I think that when they're all coming back, I will say that Michael Conforto might not only lose his starting job, but won't be a Los Angeles Dodger. And I know a lot of people have brought up the September 1st deadline as far as playoff time comes. And I agree with that. And I totally agree with that. I don't think that Michael Conforto is a guy that you generally have to worry about just because he prays to hit 200. And he's had an incredibly tough go. I pulled up their Dodgers numbers with runners in scoring position here. And Michael Conforto has been, like, I know chat's going to pull the clip, but he was good, right? And a little bit at the deadline, right? And that saved his job for whatever it was. The Dodgers didn't go out and find a left-handed bat. But he has just fallen off a cliff, and his starting job not only should be over, it has to be over, because 400 and something plate appearances for that level of production for the Los Angeles Dodgers cannot happen. Whether this is my own narrative, whether it matters, I don't care. For a team like this, and I know everybody says they have a bunch of other problems, you can't let that type of thing go on. It's for me, it's a bad look for a guy to go out there and consistently struggle like that when you have rookies who can perform. Whoever you want to put out there and left in place of him, you can't continue to put that out there. Whether the metrics say that it's good, that he has good swing tools, or whatever it is, he can work a walk. A lot of guys can work a walk. A lot of guys can play a better left field than what Michael Conforto has. And it's not Andy Pajes level of brain farts there, but he seems to just short fuse when a pitch has got to be there and swings right through the biggest hangers I've ever seen. So left field, ideally, I would love Kike Hernandez to get a ton of run. And I think that's the way they might go. If it's Andy Pajes, like, we're going to see a lot of Kike, but Tommy Edman in center field, if he can play every day, then go ahead. I don't know if they want to wear him out, but if he's good to go, good to go. Andy Pajes in left field, Teoscar in right, Tommy Edman in left. Find a way to get Kike on the field. Find a way to get Tommy Edman in center, and Andy Pajes in left. If they want a platoon, I don't care. But I don't think their rotation includes their position player rotation will include Michael Conforto going forward. I just don't see it. All right, let's take one more, and I'm gonna let you all enjoy the rest of your day here. Let's see. Let me take my most recent one here. It says, what's your take on the last game of the series? Seems like they all talked about game plan. My take is that a big swing was necessary for this team to have a beat, because in the first inning with the bases loaded, Teoscar Hernandez scratched one across. Eden, you're welcome, buddy. Scratched one across with that sac fly. Baby wall prevented it from being a grand slam. Great play out in center field by Ramon Laureano. He's been a hell of an ad. But this team needed a big swing to have a beat. And Freddie Freeman, with him, the beat goes on. The at-bats are going to keep coming. But the team needs to see success up and down the lineup. Hitting is contagious. It's going to happen. I think the success needs to be seen by the other players. I genuinely believe that this is not, play your best players every single day. Some guys got to get through a rut, and I believe that. I'm fine with Dave doing that. But I think with the team where it's at offensively, Mookie Betts looking a hell of a lot better. My narrative's cooking. Get cooked, Blake. I think that the Dodgers need to see success up and down the lineup. And I firmly believe that. Put players in that they still have upside, get the juice out of the squeeze. So I'm excited to see where they're at. So I appreciate your question. The Dodgers have to consistently come to play every day offensively. You can't go through these big lulls, and you can't have them now. You left San Diego in a good spot, all squared away. You just have to, maintain this level until these reinforcements get back. Reminiscent of what we had last year. Maintain until, because now you're getting baseline with starting pitching. You're going to get enough. and the bullpen feels like now they're getting a little bit of a reprieve from what the length that you're getting with the starting pitching. Chat, I appreciate you. Again, last call for hitting that like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Road to 100K subscribers for Dodger Blue. I appreciate you all joining me Monday through Friday. Pull up a chair, enjoy your morning with me, listen, post VOD. You can find this podcast everywhere, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. All right. I will see you soon. That's tomorrow, 10 a.m. Notifications on. We'll announce that on Twitter. We'll put it out there. If you have any questions after the fact, reach out to me. You can find me on Twitter at Scott Geirman. Open book, always willing to talk ball. But I'm going to get out of here. Let you all enjoy the rest of your day. And guess what? We'll see you soon. Take care, guys. And as always, go Dodgers, baby.